This narrative is not drawn from history. It's seeped from your inner world. Welcome to Silent Signs Stories. Close your eyes and listen to me closely. Date: the mid-1940s. Location: the frozen grounds of Poland. Midnight. A train made of cattle cars stops at the Auschwitz station. The metal doors slide open with a deafening screech. Freezing cold, barking dogs, and shouting in German flood inside. You stepped off the train. This is the end of the world. This is Hell's branch on Earth. You got in line. First, they took that stylish coat you were wearing, then your suit, then the wedding ring on your finger, that ring you put on with the love of your life, saying, "We are one." They tore it off. It wasn't enough. They shaved your head. They shaved every hair on your body. They stripped you of every external appearance that makes a human human. And finally, they took your name. You are no longer Dr. Viktor Frankl. You are not a father. You are not a respected psychiatrist. They tattooed a stamp on your arm. You are now just a number: 119, 104. You had a piece of paper in your pocket, the manuscript of the book you dedicated your life to, the work of years. You begged, "Don't take this." You said, "This is my life's work." They laughed, and they threw it into the mud. What do you have left? 119, 104? A naked body and a soul shivering from the cold. That night, the cruelest, most savage experiment in human history began. The question was this: if we take everything from a man, if we take his dignity, his family, his profession, his name, his hair, his past, and his future, what remains? Can that man continue to live? Now, open your eyes and return to today, to your own life. Do you say, "I have lost everything" in your modern life right now? Do you say, "I have no choice, I am forced to do this"? Do you say, "I am condemned to this boss, this job, this economy, this unhappy marriage"? Do you feel like a victim, cornered with nothing to do? You are wrong. Number 119, 104 is shouting to you from the cold ground of that concentration camp. You are wrong, my friend. There is still something you possess, and neither the Nazis nor the blows of life can take it from you. Today, we are going to enter that camp with you, and we will walk out of that camp with meaning in our pockets. This is not just a history lesson. This is your declaration of freedom. If you are ready for this journey, for this confrontation, hit the subscribe button now and register for this school of will. Because here, we don't talk about excuses, we talk about power. Something interesting happens in a concentration camp. Everything that is important in the outside world loses its meaning inside those barbed wires. Outside, you can be a CEO, you can be a laborer, you can be rich, you can be poor. But when you get in line for the gas chamber, when you shiver under that cold shower, everyone is equal. Viktor Frankl called this naked existence. The ego is dead. Labels are dead. Business cards have turned to mud. Do you know where we make the biggest mistake in the modern world? We think we exist through what we possess. I have a car, therefore I am. I have a beautiful house, therefore I am successful. I have thousands of followers on social media, therefore I am valuable. But what if they all go? A bankruptcy, an earthquake, a fire, or a sudden illness. If nothing remains when what you possess is taken away, it means you never existed in the first place. You were just a guardian of things. Frankl observed something very strange in that camp. Some large, muscular men who looked very strong on the outside couldn't handle the camp conditions and died within a few weeks. But some scrawny men who looked physically weak survived in that hell for months, even years. They even gave morale to others. How? If it wasn't muscle power, what kept them standing? The answer? Meaning. Those who survived had a why. As Nietzsche said, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. Some said, I have a child waiting for me outside. Some said, I have a book I need to finish. Some said, God is testing me. But they all had a hook thrown beyond those barbed wires. Now, I ask you, what is your why? What is the thing that gets you out of that warm bed in the morning? Is it just the obligation to pay bills? Is it just the fear of what will people say? Or is it a bigger, deeper meaning? If you don't have a meaning, you will crumble in the first storm, the first crisis of life. If you have no roots, the wind will knock you over. If you are looking for that deep meaning in your life too, like this video to start your search. Let's see how many of us are not content with just breathing. There was a terrible term used among prisoners in the camp, Musulman. This word did not carry a religious meaning in this context. It was used for prisoners who had surrendered, collapsed, bowed to their fate, and turned into the living dead. Do you know how you could tell if someone had become a Musulman? They stopped getting up in the morning. They stopped washing their faces in the cold water. They stopped standing upright. But most importantly, the most obvious sign was this. They would smoke their last cigarette. Normally, cigarettes were a currency in the camp. If you had a cigarette, you wouldn't smoke it. You would trade it for a bowl of soup. You would turn that cigarette into food to survive. But one day, if you saw a prisoner light that precious cigarette, take a deep drag, and look at the horizon with empty eyes, you knew that person had given up. You knew that person was saying, I don't need soup anymore. I don't need tomorrow anymore. I won't fight anymore. Usually, they would die within 48 hours. Because they died spiritually, their bodies would shut down too. Are there moments in your life where you smoked your cigarette, my friend? Moments when you said, never mind, whatever happens, happens. Moments when you said, it won't get better anyway, and let yourself go. Moments when you stopped taking care of yourself, stopped cleaning your house, gave up on your dreams, and lived just to get the day over with. That is the moment you become a Musulman. That is the moment you die spiritually. Your heart might be beating, you might be breathing in and out, you might be going to work, but if you have blown your hope, your resistance, into the air like cigarette smoke, you are not living. Frankl saw hundreds of people around him collapse like this, and he refused. He didn't smoke that cigarette. He said, no, my story will not end here in this mud. I will change the ending of this movie. One day, while Frankl was working in the snow, a Nazi guard hit him for no reason. He insulted him. He humiliated him. What did Frankl do? He didn't cry. He didn't curse. He didn't attack the guard. He froze in that moment. And in that freezing moment, in the midst of that pain and humiliation, he made the greatest psychological discovery in human history. He realized this: between an external stimulus, lubric, slap, the insult, the cold, and your response to it, pain, anger, fear, there is a split-second space. In that space, in that tiny slice of time, lies your freedom. The guard could hit him. He could hurt him. He could starve him. But he couldn't make Frankl hate him. He couldn't make Frankl feel worthless. Frankl chose his response in that space. This man can beat my body, but he cannot touch my soul. I am not a despicable person. He is a pathetic bully. Frankl writes in his book, "Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." This is your superpower. The moment you understand this, nothing in the world can hurt you. Traffic is jammed. Stimulus. You don't have to get angry, honk the horn, and ruin your day. Response. There is a space in between. In that space, you can choose to say, "I will turn on some music and relax." Your boss yelled at you. Stimulus. You don't have to feel worthless and go home and cry. In that space, you can choose to say, "This is his rudeness, not my inadequacy." Your partner left you. Stimulus. You don't have to say, "I am unlovable," and fall into depression. You can choose to say, "This was an experience, and it is over." You cannot control events. You cannot control the earthquake, the crisis, or the behavior of others. But you can control your response to events, 100%. This is the last fortress of the soul. And no guard, no economic crisis, no virus can enter this fortress. You hold the key. If you are determined to use this key, declare your power by commenting, "I have control," below. So, how did Frankl protect his mind in those terrible conditions, while his breath smelled of starvation? I will tell you about a technique Frankl applied. While lying in a lice-infested, filthy barrack, dying of typhus, he closed his eyes, and he imagined himself in the future, in a warm, elegant, bright lecture hall. He was at the podium. Elegantly dressed people were listening to him. And do you know what he was telling them? He was giving a lecture on the psychology of concentration camps. In other words, he transformed the pain he was experiencing at that very moment into a lesson, an anecdote he would tell in the future. He looked at the pain not from the inside, but from the outside. He said to himself, "These terrible events I am experiencing right now are actually the material for the book I will write in the future. I am not suffering right now. I am doing research." The moment you attach a meaning to suffering, suffering ceases to be suffering. It turns into fuel. You are experiencing difficulties right now too. You have debts. You are lonely. Maybe you are sick. Do not see this as an end. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 5 years from now telling people how you overcame these days. See this as the most exciting, hardest, but victoriously ending chapter of your future biography. You are writing the chapter where you say, "I struggled a lot once. I hit rock bottom, but I didn't give up, and here I am." Do not put down the pen. The story is not over. Viktor Frankl survived that camp. Prisoner number 119, 104 walked out of there and became Professor Viktor Frankl. He lost his family. He lost his wife. He lost everything. But he gifted humanity, that is, you and me, logotherapy, healing through meaning. He taught us this: life does not ask you, what do you want? We cannot expect things from life. Life asks you, every day, every hour, what will you do with what has happened to you? What kind of person will you choose to be under these circumstances? You are not the one asking the question. You are the one answering. You will answer with your life, with your conduct. Now, put aside those barbed wires, those excuses. Stop saying, I have no time, I have no money, I have no luck, the economy is bad. You are not number 119, 104. Your conditions are not worse than Auschwitz. You are a free soul, capable of choosing your own attitude. If you refuse to be a victim, if you say, no matter what happens to me, I will not compromise my stance. If you say, I will not smoke my cigarette, I will save it for tomorrow. I want you to sign your name to that unshakable will in the comments below. Write only this: I choose meaning. May your fortress be strong, your will be free, and your meaning be deep. Never surrender. See you soon.